Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Everyone always hypes up your 20s as the best years of your life. You're supposed to travel, find yourself, build your career, party, fall in love, all at the same time. But for a lot of people, the 20s don't feel like a highlight reel, they feel like a decade wasted. Let me know if you feel this way, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started.
We spend our 20s wanting to be richer and older and have a family. Then we start that in our 30s and we gain more wealth and do the family thing. And then we get to our 40s and we've got more responsibilities. We've accumulated all of this stuff. And then we think, God, if only I could go back to my 20s. But you were fucking miserable in your 20s.
I'm 27 and I regret using my early 20s, worried about love and being in a relationship. If you're in your early 20s, take it from me. Worry about school if that's what you want to do. If not, find your dreams. Chase your goals. Is your career? Why not wake up one day and cheat with a coworker? Love you.
20 years young. Took his life away because of a female. Never coming back because of a female. He gone. He never coming back. 20 years old. Net worth 400K. You have talent. That talent on his belt. All that money. Gone. All that talent wasted. Over a female.
You're going to hate yourself in 10 years when you realize you've just wasted your entire 20s chasing random girls, scrolling on TikTok, caring about what other people thought of you. When you realize how much time you've wasted on nonsense, you're going to have so many regrets. That's why I go so hard every single day, because I don't want to be in a position where I regret anything. Every day, move with urgency, chase your goals, try new things, start a new business, meet new people, travel to new countries, spend more money. Just attack every single day. If you're sat there thinking so much, you're on defense mode. You have plenty of time to think and analyze when you're 70 years of age. When you're in your 20s, you have to use all the energy and health God gave you.
There's so many people that think they need to party in their 20s. You know, all these young 20-year-olds, and they're thinking that they have to live it up by partying, you know, trying out some drugs, drinking. But you guys might think, oh yeah, I'm just drinking on the weekends. That leads to every day. You guys want to try coke. That one line can lead to 2 years of addiction. You know, it's just, you just don't know what can happen. And play it safe, dude, by just not trying any of that, because you're not missing out on that. That shit will lead you to negativity, to negative people, to bad things, you know, making horrible choices, shit that you might regret.
Now that I'm 30, I'm looking back and I'm like, damn, bro, I really wasted my 20s. Like, what the fuck was I doing in my 20s? I really wasted it. Like, I'm really thinking about all the stuff I could have been doing in my 20s that I didn't do. Like, for one, scamming. Why the hell wasn't I scamming in my 20s like I didn't have the rest of my life ahead of me? Like, okay, even if I got caught up scamming and I had to do a year or two, I'm in my 20s, who cares? Now that you're 30, you got to start thinking critical and shit. You got to think about 40. Once you hit 30, you already talking about 40. It's unfair as hell. And all I'm saying is, I could have been scamming, drug dealing, doing all the illegal shit, building up some real bread, and by 30, I could have been investing it into real assets. But no, I want to do everything the right way. Well, I have a message for you scammers out there. If you can turn 500 to 5,000, hit my line. If you can turn $100 to $1,000, hit my line. I don't even care what type of information you need. Social? You need my social? The birthday? Birth certificate?
Every time I see a post of someone saying they're like 36 years old, they're 38, I'm like, I have so much time until then. And then it hits me, I'm going to be 33 this year. Where have the years gone? Like, in my brain, I'm stuck somewhere between 26 and 28 years old. I can't explain why. That's just where my brain has been stuck. And I just keep asking myself, like, is this how it always is? For anyone that's older than, like, let's say 40, is this how it always is? Like, you turn 45 and you're still in your brain, you're like 26 years old? Or does that age increase? You know what I mean? Because I've been stuck between 26 and 28 since I've been 26 to 28. So as I get older, is it going to move up, or am I still going to be stuck in that? Because it's just like, Getting older is the wildest thing. It's a privilege, but it's been such a wild experience so far.
Life is difficult. My whole life, I've been saying, one day I'm going to get to where I'm happy. One day. I remember I was 10 years old. I said, one day I'm not going to get bullied. I remember when I was in high school, I was like, one day I'll be happy. I'll have friends. I remember when I was in college, I'll be like, one day I'll be happy. You know what the real key to happiness was throughout those entire years? Throughout my entire adult life, what the key to happiness would have been? Money. And I know people are going to say, money doesn't buy happiness. And I say, you're a liar. And I said this a couple weeks ago. Money's not everything, but it's a lot. Because money gives you freedom to make friends, freedom to meet girls, freedom to do whatever you want to do. If you have money, that's a great. Right now, I work 50-hour work weeks. I have no life. I have no life. My 2 days off just go by like that. Everybody who works can relate to this. You have no life if you're working over 45 hours a week, or a minuscule life.
I'm 29, and these are the 2 ways I wasted the vast majority of my 20s so you don't make the same mistakes. Number 1, I focused on accumulating rather than becoming. I thought life would be good if I just received. The thing with receiving without knowledge is you can't replicate the things that you get. So you will always go back to square one, and you will always have to be in a position where you feel like I need to get more without learning, without improving, without developing. Number 2, being everywhere, doing everything, but going nowhere. I thought if I dabble in everything and if I make myself busy, I would feel fulfilled. I would feel as if I'm going somewhere. I would feel as if I'm making an impact and an influence where I am. But in reality, the only thing that I was doing was wasting my time, wasting my efforts, wasting my years. And at 29, I've realized that a vast majority of my 20s went into those 2 mistakes that a lot of people are making. Don't make the same mistakes.
You have blown your youth. You spent the years between 18 and 35 doing whatever the hell you chose to do. No heat, no judgment. But you blew your youth. When your counterparts who were looking to marry up and marry well were getting married their junior and senior year in college, the first and second year after college, they were married at 22 and 23, and you were laughing at those white girls and those Asian girls getting married at 22, 23. You get married after college, that's too young. We need to go on girl trips and having our best life and hot girl summer and all this other bullshit. Now, they're 10 years into their marriage, 3 kids deep, and their husband's a VP of marketing somewhere. And while you still got you and your cats are living in a loft downtown, driving your BMW in a middling career. You ain't on no career track. You blew your youth. You blew your youth. You can't get that back. You don't have time to play any more games. You don't have another 10 years to try to figure this shit out. You'll be 50. You don't have time to keep playing games.
I've wasted my 20s idolizing the wrong thing. Can you guess what it was? I will tell you. The thing I idolized most in my 20s, especially my early 20s, was a career. I just thought you did the typical thing. You went to university, you got a job, you climbed the corporate ladder. And then one day, while I was in that job and career, it was taken away from me. And I didn't really understand why it was removed from my life until months later. And then I understood that God wanted to remove anything in my life that I put above Him. And I did. I put this career above Him. At the time, it made me sad, and I was a little bit frustrated and hurt. And now I'm like, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. There is a lot of thankfulness to be given for things being removed in your life, for you to keep your eyes on Jesus.
This is what absolutely nobody tells you in your 20s. Okay, so 20s, you think of like young, happy, healthy, having fun. For some people, it could be like that. For some people, it probably is like that. But for me and a lot of other people, we are stuck, lonely, and have no idea what we're doing. So for me, my 20s, so whenever I was 20 and 21, they were kind of rough, especially 20 because, the COVID was still going around. Still a lot of things happening. 2022 was the worst, absolute worst year of my entire life. It was so bad. So I was actually recovering from a past relationship that literally drained so much of my time. So this is your reminder to leave that relationship if they're wasting your time. If you're scared, leave. If they can hit a wall, they can hurt you. So remember that, leave. You do not want to be like, oh yeah, they wasted like 2 years of my life. 2 years is such a big thing. You can do so much in 6 months. Imagine 2 years.
Some wasted time in toxic relationships that went nowhere. Years invested in someone who ended up being the wrong person, and social media made it worse. You're scrolling, comparing your life to people who seem to have it all figured out by 23. Meanwhile, you're hitting 30 and still confused about what you even want to do with your life.
It's so interesting that when you're chronically excluded, on top of how horrible that feels all the time, being excluded, not invited to things, on top of how awful that is in and of itself, then it feels so much more awful on top of that with like an impending sense of doom and anxiety, knowing that you're losing your youth. Day by day, weekend by weekend, like year by year, every holiday that passes by, you're losing your youth. And that's not to say you can't have fun, can't party, can't do great, cool things when you're older, but there is something to be said about the culture of when you're young and the culture of going out and doing things. Not that you can't do it later, but it's different. To see that fleeting before your eyes because you struggle so much with friends year after year, you struggle with being excluded year after year, you're struggling with getting invitations or having people come to your own parties year after year, that sense of fleeting youth and just that sense of fleeting youth brings you such a sense of impending doom and anxiety and just yeah, like you're wasting it all, but it's not even your fault that you're wasting it if you're trying and you just keep getting rejected left and right.
If you've not got kids and you're not married and you're fat, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get up. Get up. Summer's nearly over. Wasting your youth being fat is a crime. Listening to people who say it's okay to be fat in your 20s and 30s is self-sabotage. They are just afraid to diet, okay? They can't do it, so they want you to be fat. All those enablers who are basically saying eat whatever you want, wear whatever you want, do whatever you want, get obese is fun, they are just projecting because they cannot control their mouth and food, okay? Sorry, it sounds brutal. I'm not holding a hand when I say it. That is my truth and I'm going to speak it. Stop letting people who are bigger than you keep you in that world of bigness because they just want a pal. They want a companion in the big life together to hold hands with. Make 2026 your year. Sign up for a coaching. I'm a coach. Google my reviews. Pick another coach. There's loads of good coaches out there. Get some help if you can't do it yourself. You wouldn't paint a full house exterior on your own. You'd pay a painter. So go and hire an expert to help you. Wasting your life being obese is depressing. And the sooner you get out of that mental enabling mindset, the better.
Hey, you. Guy in your 30s who feels like they've wasted their entire 20s because they've played video games or smoked a lot of weed or drank a lot or just basically didn't do anything with life because numbing the pain and not facing reality was far easier than actually trying to accomplish or achieve anything. Wow, that sounds harsh. Well, guess what? I'm talking about my fucking self because I spent the majority of my 20s hooked on just getting instant gratification from playing games. That's all I did. I didn't face real world challenges. I didn't try anything risky because I could just go home and game. And I found myself as I got into my 30s that I was just drifting. I had no goals. I had no motivation. My money situation was garbage. And I just kept seeking refuge in games. But it got to a point where it wasn't even enjoyable. It got to a point where when I started playing a game, I hated it because I knew that I was running from my responsibilities. I was running from trying to be my best because it was easier to kill a boss in Elden Ring than it was to face the fear of starting a life that I want to start.
If I had to do my 20s all over again, I would never have a boyfriend. And if a man wanted to be with me or wanted the label of boyfriend, only a man who pays my bills and gives me cash. That's right, ladies. You're gorgeous, you're young, you're beautiful. Get your money. At least have him pay for medical school. Help him pay for getting a business started. Now, this doesn't mean he just pays while you sit at home. Use that wisely. Build yourself up. Always have your own money and your own power. But have a man build you. Because we're done building men. And because that's a losing game. You can build a man up for 20, 30 years. Check out my comments. Some women have actually done it, and then he just leaves you and you're stuck with nothing. You worked at his business for free. Nope. So anyways, if it does turn out well and you get married to the guy, cool. He's got money. He helped you build your own business. You always have that in case you need to leave. But the biggest regret in most women's life is the time they spent with a man. Go on, check the comments. The time we spent with a man is the most thing that we regret in our lives. All of us. Me. The only thing I regret was my 2 marriages and all the boyfriends. Like, all of them. What a waste of time. Maybe a couple cool dates, but like that was like 4 hours. I regret only 8 hours out of the time I spent with men. The rest, I don't fucking regret all of it. What a waste of time.
So niggas in their feelings, because I said it's wild to be joining in, enlisted in the military if you 30 plus. Well, Benny, don't you be promoting the military? Yeah, the young niggas who ain't got shit going. Not y'all old motherfuckers with 5 kids, 2 baby mamas, and a pit bull. Like, you got a bunch of motherfuckers who, mind you, can't even listen to what I said. I said, if you're going officer, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about people going enlisted as E1s and below. Like E1, E2, whatever. Like, just fresh in the military. And if you go talk to anybody that's in, they will tell you it's not worth it. But because the thing is, the reason I'm speaking to this is because the problem be happening is when stuff gets trendy on this app, then motherfuckers don't be telling the truth. And then like people go doing shit based off a trend, and then they find out and fuck around and be in the reality of this shit, and they be like, oh, what did I just do? Because you go talk to motherfuckers who are in this shit, and they, why you think retention's so low? Why you think retention's so low? And I'm sitting there trying to tell y'all that if you're 35 fucking years old with a family and shit, you know what I'm saying, or some kids or something, like the best thing you're gonna get out of that is some TRICARE for your kids. They're like, oh, you get free housing. No, you don't. They pay for that shit. That's your BAH. So if you stay in the barracks, they take that away. Oh, you get free food. No, you don't. It's called comrades. You pay for that. And if they don't give it to you, they take it away. Why you think so many people in the military be complaining about the fucking surgeries and shit that we get in the military? Because the fucking healthcare for us is ass. TRICARE for your kids is clutch. I will say that. So why you promote it? Because it's easier to do this stupid shit when you are young, finesse it, take advantage of the system while you young, and then go out and live your life. Y'all doing this shit backwards. But when I made that video talking about don't waste your 20s, 25 isn't young, y'all was the same niggas that was mad in my comments about that. Now y'all 35 years old, done fucked off your life, and now you think the military is a get out free card. Then you gonna go, cause you gonna go to the military, be an E1, E2 enlisted, cause you saw a trend on TikTok thinking it was cool, you gonna get 100%. No. Now you got a fucking 20-year-old telling your ass to stand in parade rest. By the way, they tightening up on this disability shit because motherfuckers don't know how to shut up on this app. They done changed the retirement system. Now it's a blended retirement. So if you wasn't in before, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, bro, if you was fucking off in the civilian world, you're likely to get in the military and fuck off in there too. If you was a piece of shit in the regular world, you're gonna be a piece of shit in the military.
I wasted my 20s, so here are all the things that I wish I had done differently so you don't make the same mistake. I'm 31, I'm about to be 31 in a week, and I feel like I'm restarting my entire life because I'm unhappy with how I handled my 20s, and now I need to reboot. It's never too late to reboot your life. 30 is not old, 40, 50, 60, you can reboot whenever you want. And when I say I wasted my 20s, I obviously didn't waste them. I had a lot of really good experiences in my 20s, and I learned a lot. I just wish there were certain things I had done differently, so here we go. Okay, first thing is I was terrified of hearing the word no, which is crazy because I went to theater school to be an actor, and I was gonna get millions of no's for the rest of my life when I auditioned for things, and that's okay. I was okay getting no's in that scenario. What I was not okay about getting no's was when I asked people for things. And I mean this specifically about like career stuff. Like I was so afraid to ask people, hey, you want to grab a coffee so I can talk to you about this? Like I'll buy your coffee. Or ask people like, hey, I saw that this was going on. I would love to be considered. Like just reach out and put yourself out there because you quite literally never know what's going to happen. Sure, someone could ignore you or say no, but they could be like, yeah, absolutely. And that could change your whole life. So you should ask for the things you want. Literally a million paths that you could take to get to one outcome. Millions of paths, okay? Just because path A that is the normal path, or the path that you thought was going to be the best, doesn't work, doesn't mean there's not 100 other paths that you could go down and still get what you want or two. I only just learned this in the last 2 or 3 years, and that is the quote that is, wherever you go, there you are. For years, I moved, I tried different apartments, different jobs, different cities. I thought that I could find some sort of happiness, some sort of fulfillment in that. And sometimes that is helpful. Sometimes it is helpful to get a change, to try something different because you feel like you're in a rut. That's great. That's not what I was doing. I wasn't happy with myself. And rather than do the internal work and figure out what my issue was, I was like, nah, I should just try this instead. That's not helpful. If the issue is with yourself, your internal self, you gotta fix that, because you go with you wherever you are. Wherever you go, there you are. 3 is fear of perception. I wanted to post on social media in 2018, 2019, pre-TikTok, pre-everything, but I was terrified of being perceived. I was never gonna talk to the camera, because what if that girl from high school saw it and then told some other girl from high school about it? Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And if they care, why do you care if they care? Like, if you want to do something, if you want to post online, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to try a different job that you feel like, oh, people are going to judge me for this, who cares? When I was so afraid of being perceived, now, 5 years later, I'm like, I wish I had done it then. Now I have to do it now, and I'm late to the party. Like, just do it. You end up not liking it? Okay, quit.
Ladies, men's primary focus is not relationships. They are biologically selfish. And they can come in the comments here and deny it until they're blue in the face. But this is the facts. And the quicker you realize this as a woman, the happier you will be in this life. Once you realize that a man does not give an F about you, you will be happier as a woman. When you start to think this way, you will naturally prioritize yourself. And that is something that as women we should have done many years ago. We should have done centuries ago. And I don't just mean being out here for survival. No, I mean really decentering men and centering ourselves. Men's primary focus is not relationships. It's career, status, and personal goals. Where's relationships in that? Doesn't exist. Because men don't center their lives around relationships. In fact, they see relationships as just like an addition, as something that's just kind of there, lingering. They don't go out seeking relationships. They go out seeking pleasure. Oh yeah. And we're gonna trigger some men today because they're not gonna like that. Oh no, we care about love. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And the younger you realize this as a girl as well, by the way, the happier you will be.
So yeah, some people feel like they wasted their 20s, and honestly, maybe they did in some ways. But here's the thing. Wasted time teaches you something too. Those years of mistakes, struggles, and wrong turns, that's where you build perspective. And that's priceless going into your 30s and beyond. Don't stay stuck in regret. Use it and grow from it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.